It's Grace again. In this video I'd like to show you how to do P-hole hem stitch. First thing you have to do is pull out threads. The first one is the hardest. Once you get the first one done, the other ones come out a lot easier. If you want the channel to stop before you get to the end of your piece, what you do is you cut the threads first. Here I don't care, so I'm just pulling out the whole thread. As you can see, the second and third and fourth, I'm going to do 5 threads here, are a lot easier than that first one. The first one, sometimes you have to really fight with it. I've heard people say that it's easier to pull threads if you run a line of soap down your the channel that you're trying to pull the thread from. I don't usually do that, but I've heard it helps. Anyway, the first thing you have to do is hide your end. So this is me putting down a couple stitches to hold my end in place so that I can go over top of it with my my hem stitch. I'm going over 3 threads in both directions. So 3 of the ground threads vertically and horizontally. You can do 4, you can do 3, you can do more, you can do less. 3 is probably the easiest number to do because your eye can actually count up to 3 pretty easily. I get slowed down when I try to do 4, but sometimes the ground thread is fine enough that it warrants it. And my tip, my end gets in the way a lot in the beginning, and it kind of makes it hard for you to see what I'm doing, so I'm going to cut it off in a minute. So basically I'm going around a bundle of 3 threads, and then I'm going up and going around that same bundle but 3 threads up into the work, and then I'm coming down and I'm wrapping those 3 edge threads, and then I go around my next bundle, trying not to get my end in. This is basically the 4-sided stitch, only with a channel of threads pulled out on one side, which actually makes it easier to do. I'm using a blunt needle to do this. It makes it a lot faster because you don't have to figure out if you've split a ground thread or not. I don't recommend, here's me cutting off my end thread so it won't get in the way anymore. I don't recommend chenille needles, the ones with really big eyes, because those eyes break. When I'm doing this, I'm putting my thumb on top and I'm pulling, because the decorative part is the holes that you're making in your ground. So every time I'm putting my thumb on top, that's when I'm pulling on the thread to kind of cinch down. The chenille needles I found break because that eye is so the eye is weak. So I try to get blunt needles that are not made for tapestry or chenille. So in a minute I'm gonna turn it around and do the other side. This is the first side of the P-hole hem stitch. I usually do the whole thing like this, and then I do the other side. But because I want to be have some brevity here, I'm going to turn my work and show you the other side. I'm just wrapping my thread around this bundle to get it up to the other side. Again, I'm going three threads up and then 3 threads over, and then 3 threads down. And then I go around the next bundle, but at this point I want to, because it's the second one, I want to make my X. So this is me pulling the center of my X together. I just go around it a couple of times, and then I go through the leg of the X and go back up to my hem stitch. So it's exactly the same thing that you were doing before, only when you do your second bundle in a group, you go down and wrap around the center of the X. Three threads over. Down. So I'm going around my second bundle, and now I'm going around both bundles twice, and then I go through the leg to get back up to the top. Once you develop a rhythm on this, it's not all that hard. And if you get out of place, you just sort of make your way back to where you need to be. I'm going around my second bundle. And I'm going around both bundles, bringing them together with the second stitch, going through my leg, and then going back up to do my four-sided stitch on the edge. And that's pretty much it. This is a really nice edging to put with lace or just on its own on the edge of a veil or some other piece of work. In period, you find it on the edges of ruffles. The Nils Studer shirt has a pea-hole hem stitch on the ruffle of the shirt, and you find it a lot of lace edging the lace. It's just a nice border, and it goes fast. There you go. That's what it looks like.